is your moment. Don't tell me how bad you want it. Prove to yourself how bad you want it. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing get in your way. Every day you wake up, every day you breathe, you should be improving yourself. You should be taking steps to reach your destiny. Don't let nothing stop you. It's your moment. It's your time. How bad do you want it?
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's your man Mike Bowens coming to you once again from Unleashing the Creativity Within You. And this message is entitled Breaking the Cycle. Ooh, that's a bomb if I ever heard one. Boom! Breaking the cycle. Now, what I'm talking about in this is I've gotten a lot of emails. I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, you know what? Why aren't I further along in life? I'm doing everything right, Mike. I'm doing everything right. And as I really listen to them throughout the counseling session, I'm hearing, yeah, I started this in 1996 and then I did it for 3 years and then, you know, I had to stop because this happened and then I picked it up again in 2004 and then, you know, the recession happened in 2008, so I stopped then. And I'm saying to myself, the cycle and the pattern that I'm hearing from you is that you start, it gets rough, something happens, and you stop. You pick it up again, you start, then you stop. Something happens, you pick it up again, you start, then you stop. And I'm saying to myself, how can you progress if you keep the same pattern of starting, something gets rough, stopping. Starting, something gets rough, stopping. You see that pattern? So many of you, right, have started things and something happens and you stop. And then you pick up again somewhere along the way and then you keep going. What I want to say to you is you got to be consistent. Can I say that again? Consistent. I just like the way it felt when it went through my when I said it went through my body. Consistent. Ooh, dang it. And persistent. You got to be consistent and persistent in what it is that you're pursuing. Because if you are not, then once you are starting to make momentum and you stop, guess what? That momentum then stops as well. It doesn't keep going. It is not the ripple effect. You ever went to a beach or a lake or a pond and you picked up a little pebble and you threw it across the lake or the pond, the body of water, and you seen that rock skip? Boop, 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 boop. Have you ever did that? Now, at some point in time, it has good momentum going across that water, and then at some point it stops. And that's just like many people who start things, they got good momentum, and then something happens and they stop. What I had to say to this person was, whatever it is that you're doing, like the scripture says, do whatever you find your hands to do with all of your might. Don't just do it when it's convenient for you. I mean, you got to do it when things are at its worst in your life. You got to still keep doing it, like seeking God. You still got to seek God, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel down and out, right? You may not feel like it, but by you doing that, He's going to give you peace in His presence, right? Just like when you're starting a business, this is one of the hardest things to do, because guess what? Not everybody's going to want what it is that you're offering, but you cannot quit. You got to see the big picture. It's like a marriage. It gets rocky sometimes, folks. It gets rocky. But you got to be able to stay in there and say, you know what? We're going to work through this, honey. We're going to make it to the end. Sometimes you may need a good thing. And that's why I would encourage everyone to go to marriage conferences and marriage seminars and to sometimes get counseling, right? Even when things are going good, because by you doing that, you're making what's good better, right? And by you not strengthening something that's what remains, guess what? You're allowing yourself to slowly but surely separate, grow apart, and you don't even recognize it's happening, right? So breaking the cycle is not repeating the same patterns that you have seen growing up or the patterns that you have participated in yourself. See, many people are where they are because of the thoughts and the patterns that they learned from the people who raised them. Right? There's people who raised you, and because they weren't successful, they instilled that, and you saw that in their life. So you took on those same patterns. You took on those same ideas. You took on their same mannerisms. You took on their same speech. You took on their same habits. You took on their same optimism or pessimism. You took it on and you don't even realize it. That's the problem with a lot of people, is they have taken on other people's patterns and they don't even recognize that they're taking on those negative patterns, and your life is starting to mirror the people that you're trying to get away from. Until you break the cycle and change what patterns that you're constantly doing on a regular basis, you can't change your life. You can't change your life, right? It says insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and getting the same results. If you want something different, you got to do things differently. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's why I say get your mind right. Because if you don't get your mind right, you're going to keep the same cycle going in your life, right? For example, your mom had 5 baby daddies, and now you're at your 3rd child with 3 different guys. And I'm not putting nobody down. I'm just saying that sometimes you don't recognize what's happening to you because you're in it. And sometimes people from the outside looking in can say, hey, this is what's happening. That's what's happening. You say, oh my gosh, I see it. Grandma got pregnant at 18. Mama got pregnant at 18. Now you're pregnant at 18. Do you see the patterns? Daddy didn't graduate high school. Grandpa didn't graduate high school. Daddy didn't graduate high school. You're about to drop out. Unless you say, you know what? I'm not going to drop out. I'm going to break the cycle. Pops used to work at a job for 35 years. Daddy right now was working at a job for 25 years. And he's been, working at the same job. He don't make much. And now they're telling me to get a job at the same place. And if I do that, I possibly could be at the same place for a long time. But the way things are going now, people don't last at one job for a long time. They get fired and they have to bounce around to another job. Instead of you listening to them, it's time to break the pattern and say, you know what, I could do that, but maybe I'll take a job and on the side, I'll start my business, right? Nobody in the family, one piece of advice my father gave me, right? I didn't grow up with him. And this is wild. When I first got married, you think your father would say to you, congratulations, son, I'm happy for you. He says, Mike, I'm sorry that you got married. I'm like, what? I looked at the phone like, what? He's like, because God ain't make one man for one woman. What? What Bible he's reading? He's like, that's one of the worst moves that you could ever make. And I'm saying to myself, a father's going to tell his son this? But then I said, look at his life. He's never settled down with one woman. And because of that, he paid dearly out of his wazoo. Because nobody's around him that he loves. He didn't raise any of his children. I have sisters now to this day that he fathered that we're not close. Because somehow they think I'm like him and I'm not. All we got is the same name. And so, sometimes you got to be the one to break the cycle. And I vowed to myself that's what I was going to be, a man that was going to marry one woman and be with her, and I was going to raise my children. So as they got older, they was able to see me and their mom still together, and me raising them. Right? I didn't have that, so I vowed that that's what I was going to do. And let me tell you, we have some ups and we had some downs, but we stuck to the vow to death do us part. I want to encourage somebody out there today that you can break the cycle. You could be the first one in your family to graduate college. You could be the first one in your family to be a millionaire. You could be the first in your family or your neighborhood or whatever to do big things. When you trust in God and you use the gifts and talents that He's given you, there are no limits. Man, you think Usher sing it, I sing it even better. No limit, baby, no limit. Woo! We got no limits on us. And so that's what I want to encourage folks out here, is that you got to understand that there are cycles and there's patterns, but you don't have to participate in them. You can take a step back and see them and do things God's way. You don't have to do it the way that it's always been done. This is your man, Mike Bowens. And until next time, I'm signing off and I'm saying, be blessed.